BRB Championship, and we're here for the final time of the Jose Carlos Bassi Circuit, La Pedrera Park in Villa Mercedes, for one final excursion into the world of South American touring car racing for our 9 Kumho TCR World Tour stars. Yesterday we had the opening race of the weekend and it produced a thrilling encounter. Mikel Azcona was the man that crossed the line in first position for the Kumho TCR World Tour drivers, and Fabian Yanatuone 5th position overall, and the winner of the TCR South America class. The temperature has changed significantly since we were last on air. The sun is out here in Argentina. Track temperature and air temperature significantly increased, which means there's more grip, there's more opportunity for these drivers to attack this circuit. 22 degrees track temperature, 15 degrees air temperature, perfect conditions to go motor racing for a final time this weekend here in Argentina. The cars are lining up on the grid just ahead of the racing action. Here we can see once again some incredible drone shots of this field on the 30-metre wide start-finish straight here at the Villa Mercedes circuit. One of the widest racetracks you will find anywhere in the world, and certainly the widest in South America. Multiple lines are available to these drivers. There is room to race despite the fact we're on a semi-permanent street course, and that will open the opportunity for one or two people to get just a little bit aggressive. Let's have a quick word with one of our drivers.
Hello Paul, hello everyone. We are here in the starting grid of the TCR South America and TCR World Tour. Such a better day with the sun, the sky, and I'm here with Bebu Girolami, who is going to start the race in pole position. Bebu, better conditions. What is the strategy for the race?
Yeah, good morning everyone. I mean, it's nice to be back in Argentina, starting from pole after a tricky Saturday, and now the strategy is try to do a good start and then manage to fight for the victory. I mean, the car is very strong and we are very confident.
Ahora en español también para toda la gente. Emoción, ¿no?, de correr acá en tu país, largando en la primera posición acá en el TCR World Tour y South America.
Buenos días para todos los oyentes, y la verdad que después de con clasificaciones venimos a tener una buena posición de partida para el domingo. Estamos largando en pole y bueno, concentrados ahora en la largada y en hacer una buena carrera.
Muchas gracias y excelente carrera. Bebu Girolami.
Thank you very much, Mariano, down there on the grid, talking to our pole sitter, Nestor Girolami. Now, the eagle-eyed of you will notice Girolami qualified with the 11th fastest time on Saturday morning. But now he's starting from pole because Rafael Reis had a technical infringement and had to drop to the back of the grid, which moves everybody at one, and Girolami is the main beneficiary, starting from pole position in this race. But local driver, Brazilian driver, Pedro Cardoso is alongside him on the front row of the grid. Cardoso, difficult start to the race yesterday, dropped all the way to the back of the field, but still came through for a strong result, so expect him to be very competitive indeed. And this is the state of play in the Kumho TCR World Tour standings. Jan Aleshe is still our leader, but the gap has reduced to 16 points from Norbert Mikel behind. Mikel Azcona very firmly in contention as well in third position, 23 points adrift of our French series leader. Rob Huff 41 adrift in fourth position, and Ted Bjork has work to do to get back in contention, 76 points in arrears of his Cyan Lincoln co-racing teammate. Ahead, here is the entry list for the La Pedrera circuit, our 9 Kumho TCR World Tour drivers that you will recognise very well indeed from the preceding 11 races that we've held this season. And then we're joined by the TCR South America field. Fabian Yanatuone there, the Argentine driver in the Toyota, won the classification, finished 5th overall last time around. Diego Nunes from Brazil, another Toyota driver, expect big things from them. Rafael Reis had a mechanical issue, had a technical issue in qualifying, mechanical issue in the race, so he took no part in the activity, but you can see him there in the Cupra at the back of the field. Hopefully he'll be able to move forward. This is a driver I want to look at very closely indeed, Pedro Cardoso. As mentioned, very quick in the race yesterday, dropped to the back of the field through some dramas, had to go down pit lane. They did good work to get the car back out again under safety car conditions to the back of the field, and then Cardozo used that to good effect to work his way through to 10th in the overall finishing order. He's a driver starting from second on the grid, very much one to look out for in this race. Another one, Ignacio Montenegro, that we see there, championship leader in the TCR South America field. Difficult qualifying, now starts down in 16th position, so he's got work to do in the Honda, but never discount the Argentinian driver, a star of the future for sure. Montenegro will be looking for another big opportunity to present himself to the world stage over the course of this next 30 minutes and one lap race. That's right, 30 minutes, you heard me correctly. We did a 25 plus 1 yesterday, slightly longer this time around. 30 minutes plus 1 lap will be the duration, and as is always the case in the TCR Touring Car Championship field, we'll do a formation lap and a standing start where the 25 drivers will be looking to the gantry you see at the top of your shot. The lights will go out, the engines will get loud, and we'll all go piling down in P1 very quickly indeed, looking for their own bit of real estate in order to make up positions and hopefully for them have a strong race come the conclusion of this event. And there we go, formation lap begins, and Bebu Girolami is the man starting from pole position and will lead the field from Pedro Cardozo. Third position on the grid, Frederick Vervish, retired on the final lap of the race through contact with Marchinquois. He'll be looking to recover a big haul of points. The Belgian team, Kumho Racing, have been competitive in racing conditions, and they'll be hoping for a big result. So this is the grid. Nesta Girolami from Pedro Cardozo, Frederick Vervish and Ted Bjork are our first two rows of the grid. In fifth, Marchinquois ahead of Santiago Arrutia, his teammate Rob Huff and Mikel Azcona are 7th and 8th on the grid. Number Miklis Jan Elishay reversing from yesterday's qualifying 9-10, Fabian Yanatuone and Bernardo Java 11th and 12th position. 13th, Mateus Miller from Juan Angel Rosso. Diego Nunes will be 15th, Ignacio Montenegro 16th position. Galid Osman from Manuel Sapag, Esteban Gurrieri and Frederick Balbi. In 21st, Manuel Cosella, Enrique Malione. Fabio Casagrande will start in 23rd, and Alberto Baptista 24th, and Rafael Reis, courtesy of the drama during qualification, lines up in that Cupra at the very back of the field. And this is a big one as well for Rafael Reis, of course, because he is in contention for a strong result in the championship in TCR South America. Came into this weekend in second position, courtesy of that retirement in race 1, drops down to 4th in the running order of that championship. So Rafael Reis needs a big recovery if he's got any ambitions of fighting for the top 3 positions at the end of the championship season. Halfway around this beautiful La Pedrera circuit, I had the pleasure of having a lap around this track a little bit earlier on today in the VIP cars that the TCR South America bring to each and every race, give opportunity for the fans to get up close and personal with the cars and take a tour around the track for themselves. It was the Palladini Generation 1 Audi. I had the opportunity to sample the circuit at racing speed, and let me tell you, this is an incredibly quick track. But what is almost very surprising that you don't see on the television, and I didn't see on the sighting laps car, the corners follow each other so very quickly. There's very little let up for these drivers. If you run deep into one turn, that will penalise you for the next 3 or 4 corners as you scrabble at high speed to get the car back on the racing line. So this is threading the needle at speed with 24 other cars trying to take your position away. And do not envy these drivers heading into this race. They're going to be earning their money today, folks, and I'm sure they're going to put on a sensational show. So don't go anywhere, because the cars are lining up on the grid. This is Santiago Arrutia that we're looking at now on board in a Cyan Lincoln Co racing machine. Starting in 6th position, Santiago fancies his chances of moving forward. Rafael Reis certainly fancies his chances of moving forward. Has been quick throughout the course of the South American journey for the Kumho TCR World Tour, and will be starting right at the very back of the field in that Cupra. Rafael Reis hoping to have a good race, stay out of trouble. That's going to be the key in these opening few corners, in these opening few laps indeed, as the drivers try to pick their way through the field. So here we go now. The final cars at the back of your shot on that long and wide start-finish straight. Take up their positions on the grid. The course car at the back, there is the marshal, checking everything's okay. Green flag aloft, that's what we like to see. Folks at home, in a few moments' time, we are going to be racing here in the Kumho TCR World Tour, TCR South America. Round 12, a good start at the front of the field for Pedro Cardoso. Goes defensive immediately. Frederick Vervies through the dust, through the sediment, charges in a second position. Contact between himself and Ted Bjork. Bjork has to go to the escape road. The Conti Audi trying to find a way back. But there are so many cars in the way. Contact as well for one of the Hyundais. That is heavy contact with the barriers at the side of the circuit. The concrete barriers are unforgiving, and a touring car does not like to hit them hard. But we're still run down now. Mikel Azcona has Frederick Vervies with bits of bodywork flailing off the car. A couple of drivers skip the tyre barriers, but there is one of the Lincoln Co's. That's Jan Elishay straight into the tyre stack. Jan Antuone facing backwards into the wall, as well as safety car surely will be called. Not what Jan Elishay needed at the early stages of this race. Heavy contact with a tyre barrier further down. Rafael Reis has pulled the pin immediately, trying to make some spaces up. We are still under green flag running here in South America. That's Balbi that we see pulled up in the PMO Motorsport car as well. But Rob Huff makes his way into second position, marching quite sideways, but everybody slows down because there is the inevitable safety car that has been called, courtesy of that drama at the opening chicane. So everybody, no overtaking, run nose to tail. There is the safety car exiting pit lane. He'll wait to pick up the field, and we will neutralise this race and unpick some of the dramas that have occurred in the opening few corners here in Argentina. So let's take a look at the replay. Look at Jan Elishay there in the Lincoln Co. Runs deep into the corner, tries to make it, then decides to bail out, but too late. Straight in to the tyre stack. Further back, we see Jan Antuone as well, backing up into the barriers. He managed to get started again. So there is the Lincoln Co. running side by side with one of his teammates, Santiago Arrutia, I think that was. Not enough racing space. Elishay didn't know whether to commit to the corner or to bail out and go through the slow chicane. He decided to commit, ran out of grip, ran out of real estate, more importantly. Contact with the barrier, Jan Antuone, nothing he could do about that one. Further back as well, wrapped up in the drama. So not a good start for the Cyan Lincoln Co. squad. Does Jan Elishay have damage on that car? We'll keep our eye out for that one. But what has been a good start is for Rob Huff. Huff started this race all the way down in 7th. Remember, he lost the race victory yesterday, right at the very death. Well, he's looking to make amends almost immediately. Up into second position. Good, solid start from Pedro Cardoso as well. He's in third place. Loses one in the Hyundai, but still very firmly the leader of the TCR South America contingent, and still firmly in contention for a strong result. Mattia Miller that we're looking at for PMO Motorsport in the Lincoln Co., the Generation 1 Lincoln Co. Another very disappointing result. Matthias Miller, the hood is up, investigating the engine, but I fear we've seen pretty much the last of him. 2 DNFs from 2 races, not the kind of start that he was hoping for this weekend. Vervies carried a little bit of damage there as well on the front split. Oh, Maglione, Quadra Martino, another driver in strife, the Uruguayan in pit lane, working under the bonnet. The mechanics, they've got to be quick if they want to get that car back out again before the safety car crosses and they drop a lap. And there is Jan Antuone for the Palladini Racing Squad, the Toyota Corolla TCR, built by Toyota Gazoo Argentina, very much heavily underdeveloped, but a strong looking machine. Jan Antuone took his first class victory in TCR South America yesterday with an incredibly strong result, 5th position overall, first in South America. But sadly for the Argentinian driver, that's not going to be a repeat performance this time around. That car's looking very much in strife. Not quite as bad as this car here though. That is heavy damage to Balbi's machine. Frederick Balbi having heavy contact out there on the racetrack, so Balbi we will see no more of as well. Casella, according to the timing screens, is down in 22nd position, so I'm not sure if Casella's still on the racetrack or not. That will update next lap around. I'll give you a bit of an update on that one, but again, Juan Manuel Casella, another strong driver in TCR South America, having a nightmare weekend. Started by an accident in FP2, compromised qualification, and from there on, the Argentine driver not able to push forward and show the results that we know he is capable of delivering in that Squadron Martino Honda. Timing screen at the top says 25 minutes on the clock. We will not extend the race distance for safety car running here in Argentina, so that clock will continue to tick unless we hit a red flag situation. So hopefully we can get the circuit cleared, make sure everything is safe to go racing, and we can pick up where we left off in what was a frenetic opening lap of this race. Let's take a look again at what happened to Elishay. There you see him on the outside collecting the barriers. That then causes with further contact Yanatuoni makes contact. Let's have a look at the Yanatuoni car now. He's to the inside line just behind the red car. There, contact with the Cyan Lincoln Co machine, and that must be, I'm looking down, who is the back runner of Cyan Lincoln Co, potentially Ted Bjork. I need to see that one again to ascertain which number it is on the window before making a commitment. But the Lincoln Co catches Yanatuoni, pivots the car around into the barrier, and an eventual retirement as well. So real shame for Yanatuoni there, from victory yesterday to an early bath today in the second and final race of the weekend. So hopefully we see that one again and we can unpick exactly which of the four Cyan Lincoln Co's it was that made contact with the rear of the Toyota Corolla TCR. And that's the problem. You funnel down into these tight chicanes at an incredibly high speed, especially when there's contact further afield. Everybody's jockeying for the track position. Visibility is minimal for the drivers. There's windshields full of car, and you try to take the opportunity, you try and pick out some free air for yourself, and unfortunately often two cars into one don't go. I stood there in free practice, and might I say that probably one of the best views in motorsport I have ever had. You can get so close up to the side of the racetrack, really see the cars moving and working underneath the drivers. It's remarkable. If you've ever had the opportunity to see a TCR race in person, whether that's the Kumho TCR World Tour or a national championship wherever you are in the world, it's very surprising that you don't see on the television just how much movement is underneath these cars, how hard the drivers have to work to keep the car on the racetrack, to keep it moving forward. They are very visually and audibly as well exciting cars to watch, and on a high-speed street circuit where you can really get up close to the action, such as we have here at the Jose Carlos Bassi circuit in the Pedrera Park, Villa Mercedes. It's a spectacular sight to behold, and I highly recommend wherever you are in the world, with many national TCR Touring Car Championships, try and get yourself trackside and have a look for yourself, because these are spectacular machines. We're in a golden age, folks, of touring car racing, and we're about to kickstart again. I believe the lights are off on the safety car. They'll come in this lap, and Néstor Girolami will take over the pace at the front of the field, followed by Rob Huff, Pedro Cardozo, Marcin Hua, Norbert Michelis, Mikel Afkona, Frederick Vervi, Santiago Arrutia, Bernardo Java, and Jan Elishay. So here we go again, second time of asking, green flag is waved, and Girolami leads the field away. Here in Argentina, Cardozo has moved into second position actually, so Rob Huff caught napping at the safety car line, immediately rectifies that problem though with the Kumho racing car down the inside line. Huff will run wide and side by side with the Hyundai, has the inside line for the second part of the corner. Cardozo gives him racing room, and that is a position gain for Rob Huff. Marching keeping a watching brief in the background as well. The Chinese driver in a Chinese car racing in Argentina, Marcin Hua, is very keen to find a way past the Hyundai at the chicane where we had the dramas a few moments ago. Decides to back out again, and in fact, if anything, that's a good run for Cardozo through that chicane. We're seeing Frederick Vervish under some pressure as well from the Hyundai behind, so Vervish on the defensive a little bit further back, and there is one of the Lincoln Co cars, that is Arrutia, around the outside of Mikel Afkona. Good overtake from Santiago Arrutia, one position gained. Here we go again on the defensive now. Afkona decides, I've not given up on this one just yet, and tries to launch a counter-offensive on Santiago Urrutia. Just behind, we've got Urrutia's teammate trying to find a way past Jan Elishay with the pink highlights. Marcin Cuarzo makes the dive at the hairpin, hard on the brakes, finds a way past Pedro Cardozo. Good pass from Marcin Cuarzo. He moves up now into third position, so good overtake from the Chinese driver Pedro Cardozo, holding on, but in the Hyundai doesn't quite have the pace of those around him. And now Norbert Mikulis is next in line, so the Hungarian driver trying to find a way past the Brazilian man. Both in Hyundais, one run by the BRC squad. In fact, let's have a look at this replay. That is Casagrande locking up, or is that a mechanical actually? That is smoke coming from the back of the Civic, so Casagrande in strife further down the running order, but at the front of the field, the two Hyundai side by side. Mikulis has the inside line, Mikulis has the advantage, Mikulis has the position. Good move from Nobi there on the run down into the first corner. Cardozo drops a further place. Now in fifth position, still leading the TCR South America class, though, as we see another car smoking in the back of shot. But at the front of the field, Bebo Girolami holds on to the race lead in this home country from Rob Huff. Marcin Cuarzo in third, Pedro Cardozo, we've just seen overtaken by Norbert Mikulis, so he's fourth, he's dropped to fifth position. Behind him, Frederick Vervisch snapping away at the heels. That's Ted Bjork. Bjork's got Java behind, trying to find a way past. So the Lincoln Co versus the Toyota Corolla. Good opportunity to see the differences between these two cars. But while they're doing that one, there's a ever so slightly enthusiastic looking Ignacio Montenegro trying to find a way past. Mikel Azcona has to navigate his way through the chicane. So what's happened to Azcona? Makes a mistake at the chicane, goes the long way around, but that car didn't look particularly quick. So Azcona maybe has got a further underlying problem rather than just missing the braking point. There seems to be a significant issue for the Spanish driver. We'll keep our eye on that one, but let's turn our attention to Pedro Cardozo, Frederick Vervisch just behind, Santiago Urrutia trying to buy into that one further down the running order, while Bebo Girolami has the attentions of Rob Huff and Marcin Cuarzo to keep him company at the front of the field. Running through the flat-out left-hander that signifies the final corner, in effect, of this La Pedrera circuit now for the long run down into T1. Huff decides he doesn't want the slipstream. He's looking for the clean air. He's looking for the cool air behind the back of the Honda Civic of Bebo Girolami. Girolami locks a brake and stays very much on the racing line. No real disadvantage for the Argentine there. So Girolami, Squadra Martino, Rob Huff, CompTU Racing, Marcin Cuarzo, Cyan, Lincoln Co Racing are our top three runners. Norbert Mikulis there, one of the contenders for the Kumho TCR World Tour crown, holds on to fourth position. He'll be satisfied. That gives him a further points advantage over his main rival Jan Elishay. And there is Elishay at the back of this squabbling pack, sandwiched between teammates Santiago Urrutia ahead and Ted Bjork behind. Will Lincoln Co think about doing some swapsies with their point man in the Kumho TCR World Tour standings? We'll find out as things progress, but Ted Bjork would dearly love to be involved in that fight as well. The 2017 world champion Ted Bjork having a reasonably strong season, but yet to get off the mark in terms of outright victories. That's not going to be the case today, but the more points you can bag, the more successful your end of year will be. As we see Marcin Cuarzo looking at the back of Rob Huff, there is Jan Elishay has found a way past Sante, so Elishay now moves up into seventh position. Next man up the list for him to find a way past is Frederick Vervisch. Ahead further down the running order, this is the TCR South America field. Rafael Reis having a very nice time of it indeed. Remember, he started at the back of the field, works his way up to 15th. And let's take a look. This is the replay, this is the drama that we saw in the opening lap. That was Mikel Azcona, heavy contact with the retaining wall, and that is not a straight Hyundai at all. So Azcona, we did think he was going slowly when he worked his way through the chicane, and I do think that is the end of the day for Mikel Azcona now, as Frederick Vervisch to the inside of Pedro Cardozo. They run too wide. Contact between the Brazilian and Frederick Vervisch. Vervisch gets away with it. Cardozo on the side of the circuit. That's heavy contact into the T1-2 section of corners. Vervisch, Cardozo, two cars into space for one. Let's have a look again. Vervisch to the inside. Cardozo tries to close the door. Contact between the two of them. That opens up an opportunity as well well for Jan Elishay behind. I think he's made his way past, as has potentially Santiago Arrutier as well. We'll find that one out. No, there is Verviche. So how is he, where does he fare? Yes, he does. Arrutier and Elishay both make their way past. So Frederick Verviche cannot find any good fortune whatsoever, it seems, this weekend. Further contact for the Belgium. He's still on track, but that's going to compromise his car, compromise his race significantly, while his teammate Rob Huff continues on in second position at the front of the field, trying to make it 2 podiums from 2. But if truth be told, Huff was furious with himself yesterday for conceding that race victory. He'll be looking to make amends with another sterling drive today, and for himself, hopefully getting in contention with Nesta Girolami ahead. So let's take a moment to reassess where everybody is after that bit of drama. We've got Nesta Girolami is our race leader from Rob Huff, marching quiet, holding on in third position. There's a dejected Mikel Azcona out of the car, out of the race. The BRC Hyundai N Squadra Corsa driver, courtesy of that contact with the wall. The car just cannot withstand those type of impacts against hard concrete, and Azcona has to say goodbye and becomes the 4th retirement of this race, as well as Matthias Miller, Enrique Maglione, and yesterday's South America winner, Yana Tirone, the first retiree of this race. Currently, Casagrande and Baptista are following each other on track in the trophy, and then 19th and 20th positions. Overall, Baptista is the man who has the lead of the TCR South America Trophy race positions at this moment in time. Pedro Cardozo, according to my time in street. In fact, let's come back to that one. So we've got 4 cars trying to fit themselves in a space from where there is only one. The flash of the brake lights from Esteban Gurrieri behind as well, so he's in contention to find a way past the drivers ahead. That is Khalid Osman in the Shell liveried car. There you see Khalid Osman in the Cupra. He's made his way past the second of the 2 Cupras. That is Rafael Reis, I believe, just a bit behind. So Gurrieri got his elbows out at this moment in time in the Corolla, trying to make his way up. They're having a little fight around the 13th, 14th, 15th positions, a little bit further down the running order, as Bebo Girolami continues to hold a slender advantage over the chasing Huff and marching Hua behind. Norbert Mikulis a little bit detached. He'll be frustrated to look in his mirrors and see that man Jan Elishay behind. Mikulis was looking for as many cars between himself and the Frenchman as possible in order to close down that gap at the head of the standings. Coming into this race, the gap is 16 points between Novi and Jan at the top of the Kumho TCR World Tour. That will reduce even further heading into Australia if things stay as they are. In the case of Novi and Mikel Azcona, he's lost his wingman in this race. Mikel Azcona done himself a world of good over the South America period of races, but a retirement is going to hurt significantly for the young Spanish star. Here we go, 12 minutes, 35 seconds left on the clock. Still looking comfortable at the front of the field is Nesta Girolami, the Squadra Martino Honda Civic. The brand new Honda Civic as well, the new generation of Honda, the Type R FL5 TCR. Looking for a strong result, Girolami, here this weekend. The car's shown more and more pace each weekend. It's been very much early in its development cycle, but now is starting to come on strong as we expected. Anything developed by Yas, anything developed by Honda will be a competitive proposition, and Girolami hoping to give that car his first win in the Kumho TCR World Tour. Nacio Montenegro hoping to give the previous generation car another win in TCR South America. Montenegro is the championship leader, but he's got a bit of work to do at this moment in time, because ahead of him he has Java in 9th, Ted Bjork in 8th position. So work to do. There is one of the Toyota car we saw going through shot. Is that Gurrieri? I don't think it is. I believe that may well have been Rosso, but we'll come back to that one in a few moments' time, as Marcin Kwan now has decided to give a little bit of breathing space between himself and Rob Huff. Let that Lincoln Co cool down a little bit and then relaunch the attack again. Aggressive is the Chinese through the chicane, gets a good run off of the corner, so the Audi ahead not quite as potent, it doesn't seem, under heavy acceleration. When the speeds build, the Audi starts to build a little bit of an advantage here in Argentina. It's quick in a straight line, but it doesn't have the launch out of the corners. That presents an opportunity for Marcin Kwan for sure. And then we see, look, the gap start to extend. If anything, Rob Huff starts to close to the back of Nesta Girolami ahead. A lock wheel for Mar. He manages to keep the car though very firmly within the confines of the racetrack. So this is a bit of a chess game, a high-speed chess game. While they're thinking about who's going to pull the trigger first, Norbert Michaelis is lapping very quickly indeed, thank you very much, behind fastest driver of this group at the front of the field last time around. So very soon the three-way squabble will become a four-way fight for the race victory, and there is the BRC Hyundai driver, car number 105, Norbert Michaelis, closing slowly but surely to the back of this pack, and Jan Aleshay still thanking his lucky stars that heavy contact with the tyres hasn't given any kind of terminal damage. They make them strong, those Lincoln Co's, and Aleshay still very firmly in contention in 5th position as well. Should any dramas befall the cars ahead, that will be an opportunity for the French driver to sneak in and pick himself up a few more points in his charge for the Kumho TCR World Tour standings. More great shots from the drone there as the cars go over the bridge in this Pedrera park. It's a great facility here in Argentina, very much in the heart of parkland. There's a lake area, a football stadium, things for children to do as well, and then all of a sudden you've got this really quick racing circuit. There is one of the grandstands that you see back of your shot, the water fountains as well, spectators lining the tracks to try and get a good view of these cars up close and personal at such incredibly high speeds. And speaking of up close and personal, let's ride on board with Pedrera Girolami. This is the kink on the start-finish straight for our race leader. There we go, coming down in to T1. Rob Huff again hunting out some cool air in the front of that Audi. He doesn't want this car to overheat, doesn't want to attract any debris off of the circuit that may interfere with the cooling of the Kumho Racing Audi RS3 LMS TCR. So Huff sacrificing potential slipstream potentials for clean air, cool air in the car, because of course you've got to finish this race 30 minutes, a little bit longer than usual, temperatures higher than yesterday. It's critical to maintain reliability and mechanical sympathy, while at the same time pushing as hard as possible to find a way past Girolami. Looks like he's in control at the front of the field. Nesta Girolami now makes no mistakes, does Nesta, in this race, and currently holds a healthy just over half-second advantage from Rob Huff, who himself has got Kumho almost painted to the rear of that Kumho racing car ahead. 8 minutes on the clock now. Montenegro that we're seeing in a little bit of strife. Is that an issue for the Squadra Martino driver? Nacio Montenegro going slowly to the outside of the racing circuit. I think we have. There we go. Look, a flat tyre on the back of the car. So the back tyre has delaminated in Montenegro's car. Is that from contact or other dramas? We don't know for Rob Huff. Shedding a bit of bodywork at this moment in time, as well as the front fender flapping around in the wind on these incredibly high speeds. And what's happened here? So Huff has lost out to Mar. So what's going on? Mar down the inside of the hairpin, heavy hip and shoulder between the two cars. The last of the late breakers, Kumho, commits very late to the hairpin. Huff did not expect him to be there. Contact between the two of them. Smoke from the front of Mar's car. So Mar has, courtesy of that contact, some sort of mechanical dramas. He's covering the inside line very heavily indeed. He knows he's in trouble now. Rob Huff trying to find a way past, rubbing noses to the back of his car. So Mar, the smoke seems to have disappeared slightly now as the wheel arch rubs against the tyre. So hopefully, for the sake of Mar, that problem's gone away. But he is compromised. There is an opportunity for Rob Huff, as we see Norbert Michaelis defending hard from rival Jan Aleshay behind. So they're breaking off now into groups of two. Michaelis and Aleshay fighting for positions down in 4th and 5th. Huff and Kumho fighting for position 2nd and 3rd. Aleshay has the inside line but not the overlap. Drops back behind Norby. Looks again, see where the opportunity is. Clearly the Cyan Lincoln Co has not been hindered by the earlier contact at the start of this race. And now it's push time in the final 6 minutes and 20 seconds. Can these two drivers, 1st and 2nd in the Kumho TCR World Tour, 4th and 5th in this round 12 of the series, coming to South America? Can Aleshay find a way past? Michaelis has seen the pass from Kumho in the hairpin. Heavy defence. Aleshay runs a little bit deep, doesn't have the opportunity to get the cut line as Norby was compromised on corner exit, so that's an opportunity gone. but a great pass from Marchingois a few corners ago puts him in the pound seat to be the next challenger to our man Nesta Girolami at the front of the field. 5 minutes, 42 seconds left on the clock. A little bit of spacing now between our top 5 drivers, courtesy of all those squabbles we've seen over the last few laps. Arrutia just behind as well, holding on to 5th position. He's got a good gap between himself and Frederick Vervies. Bernardo Java, 9th position at this moment in time as leader of TCR South America from Pedro Cardozo in 10th. Rafael Reis, I said to keep your eye on him at the start of the race, started in 25th position, up to 11th and 3rd in class, just behind Pedro Cardozo and ahead of Galid Osman behind. So another outstanding performance from Pedro Cardozo, it has to be said. Very strong, although somewhat under the radar in race 1 yesterday, and another overtaking masterclass from the Brazilian driver Cardozo, currently in that 10th position and on the bottom step of the TCR South America Banco BRB podium positions. As things stand, with 4 minutes 42 seconds left on the clock. Last time around, fastest driver Marchingois, 48.3 second lap time, courtesy of overtaking Rob Huff, last of the late breakers, but he still has a 1.3 second disadvantage to Girolami at the front of the field. That is Galid Osman that we're looking at the back of the shot. Rafael Reis in the foreground of the shot, and Montenegro, having been down pit lane, I think, I'm not quite sure, he's going to be lapped by our Kumho TCR World Tour drivers. That will hurt the Argentinian driver Ignacio Montenegro. Very, very fast, dominant in the TCR South America field. Had an impressive race 1 at El Pinar. Since then, things have just slipped a little bit away from the young 18-year-old man's hands and not quite shown the level of performance that we all very clearly know he is capable of in a TCR touring car. Don't worry though, it won't be the last time we've heard that name. I am absolutely certain on the world stage. Mark a little note in your notepads for future. Ignacio Montenegro will be a driver to watch for sure as the years unfold in the world of TCR touring car racing. As we look at this battle for first position between Nesta Girolami and Marchingois. Rob Huff now in 3rd place, just ahead of Norbert Michaelis. There we see at the back of the shot, and Jan Eliche still holding on, still keeping a watching brief. 5th place, second of the 2 Cyan Lincoln Co cars in this race, and importantly for Jan, just behind his Kumho TCR World Tour rival, Norbert Michaelis ahead. 3 minutes and 1 lap left on the clock for these drivers. Now it's been a very clean race so far. Let's hope that I'm not jinxing things by saying that one. Bernardo Java that we see in the Toyota Team Argentina machine, that's the red and white car. Behind him, Pedro Cardozo. So this is a fight for position. This is a fight for the race lead in the TCR South America fields. Let's hopefully keep our eye on that one a little bit more as the race unfolds. So currently our race leader is Java in 9th place from Cardozo in 10th in TCR South America, as Nesta Girolami from Marchingois a 1st and 2nd position in the Kumho TCR World Tour field. At the front of the field, Marchingois has not given up on this one. Closing is the Chinese driver. Took a victory, 2nd time out in Uruguay last weekend, the 2nd race of the weekend. 1st race victory for the driver, and he fancies the taste of that champagne very much indeed. 1 win is nice, 2 wins are exceptional. So Marchingois will not be giving up the fight at this moment in time, not giving up the fight in the Kumho TCR World Tour standings as well. He's 9th and last of the full-time regular drivers, so a race victory would do his prospects inside the team and in the category in general no harm whatsoever. But he's running out of time, folks. 1 minute 32 seconds left on the clock. Montenegro just went through our shot as well, about to go a lap down. Is the Squadron Martino Honda driver. He'll be desperate not to get in the way of his teammate and stablemate Nesta Girolami behind. Girolami leading the race. Montenegro, sadly for him, courtesy of the excursion to pit lane, is running in 17th position as things stand. Is the fight now for the front of the TCR South America Banco BRB field. Java that we see in the Toyota Team Argentina car, just ahead of Pedro Cardozo in the Hyundai Elantra N for Scuderia Chiarelli. They are as one at this moment in time. Cardozo started in second position overall on the grid, so a good qualification result courtesy of the reverse grid, but unfortunately he's dropped back a little bit as Java started. Where did he start? Fernando Java started this race in 12th position overall, so a good drive up through the field for Bernardo. 1 lap and a few seconds left on the clock. Drivers will still have opportunities to make or break their race. We're going to cross the line before the clock strikes. There we go, race leader Pedro Girolami crossing the line. He's got a bit of a gap now, I think it's fair to be said, from Marchinglar. So the opportunities are reducing very quickly for the Chinese driver. He needs to dig deep and find something special to get in touch and get in contention, more to the point, with Nesta Girolami over these final 2 laps of this race. But Bebu absolutely hanging everything out in that Squadra Martino Honda, not giving up, not easing the pace up whatsoever. A 47.7 last time around, pretty much 1-for-1 matching Rob Huff. So Girolami clinging on to this race lead as much as possible, pushing for every ounce of speed in the Squadra Martino Honda. It will mean a lot to Girolami to take this race victory. It will mean a lot to win as an Argentine driver in Argentina, and same further down as well. Java and Cardozo continue to be locked in battle, 9th and 10th overall, but leading and second position in the TCR South America, with Rafael Reis a little bit further back, 8 seconds in fact further back, third position, bottom step in the South America podium. Casagrande still very much the pound seats. No, he's not in fact. Baptista is in 16th place and he's leading the TCR South America trophy field. So Baptista very firmly ahead of Casagrande in that classification. So Baptista will be looking for another very strong result for himself in the South America trophy, as we now just about to launch the final lap of the race. Nesta Girolami takes the 1 lap board. We're in the last lap of this race, the final lap of the South American leg of the Kumho TCR World Tour, the TCR South America Banco BRB Championship here in Argentina, the Pedrera Park in Villa Mercedes, the Jose Carlos Bassi circuit. Round 12 of the Kumho TCR World Tour, and it has been a special and spectacular experience to be here on this high-speed, semi-permanent street circuit, and the drivers have put on a fantastic show. Ted Bjork under a little bit of pressure from our 2 South American drivers headed by Java ahead, but I think Bjork does have the leg room he needs now to give that one a nice blanket between himself and the South Americans. They're fighting for their own championship. Pedro Girolami is fighting for his own outright race win on home soil, and just a few more corners to go. Car number 129, Squadra Martino. It is the new Honda Civic Type R FL5 TCR. Nesta Girolami looking for his first win in the Kumho TCR World Tour, and what a place to take that victory on home soil here in Argentina. Just ahead of him, Ignacio Montenegro looking to go a lap down, but Girolami has just a few more corners to go. Keep it away from the wall. Pray that the car is making no strange sounds, no mechanical dramas. Pedro Girolami, from the disappointment of retirement yesterday to the elation of a race victory today. Hard on the accelerator, hard through the final swooping corner. Already he's weaving side to side in celebration. Nesta Girolami, race winner in the Kumho TCR World Tour, round 12 at home for Squadra Martino. That means the world to Girolami. He takes the victory, his first of the season from Marchinglar. And in the TCR South America field, Bernardo Java for Argentina Team Toyota takes the victory from Pedro Cardozo. Java Cardozo first and second. Rafael Reis will cross the line at the bottom step of the podium. Great result for the South American Championship. Great result for both of those drivers. That means a lot to Toyota Team Argentina, does the victory. And then for Bernardo Java as well. Another very strong performance in that beautiful Toyota Corolla. And what's going on here? This is Jan Elishay, no, but Michele side by side. Elishay hard into the wall. Massive contact on the final lap between Elishay and Michaelis at the front of the World Tour field. I saw him running down the timing screen, but wasn't sure if that was accurate according to this. And it's not always to be believed, it has to be said. It's his 15th position is Jan Elishay. Where does Michaelis? Michaelis stays in 4th place, so he managed to continue. I'd love to see that one again as we're looking at Girolamo celebrating with the home crowd. But that is massively controversial on the final lap. Under acceleration from the hairpin are two TCR, Kumho TCR World Tour leaders coming together. Big contact for Jan Elishay. Bernardo Java there taking the applause as well, celebrating with Rafael Reis. Reis having another sensational drive, it has to be said. Massively impressed, by the way, with that man Rafael Reis. Says, hello, what's going on here? It's a Kumho racing car facing the wrong direction, and look at that one. Jan Elishay, are you okay? The marshal asks. Hopefully the Frenchman is. His door's open, which suggests no dramas. Hopefully Jan, maybe talking to his team, but hopefully he's okay. Certainly dejected. That's to be said. Thumbs up to Sante. Are you okay? That's good to see. Good teamwork. And we've seen them all. I've seen them all weekend at the hotel and around the track. They very much are a group of 4, are the Kumho guys. But there you go. What's happened? So Elishay goes to the inside, but then himself and Norby come together on corner exit, trying to carry the speed through. Norby's already up towards the wall, not really giving any more room, but no real room to give. I'd like to see that again from another angle, if at all possible, to kind of make any semi-qualified judgment on that one. But that was massively controversial and has significant implications for the Kumho TCR World Tour standings. They came into this race, did Jan and Norby, on 266 and 250 respectively, so 16 points difference separating the two drivers. As things stand, Norby Michaelis has crossed the line in 4th position, and of course Jan Elishay didn't cross the line at all, so will be classified 17th at best. But let's have a look at our race results then. So Girolamo from Marcinkois and Rob Huff are our podium finishers. Norbert Michaelis, Santiago Arrutia, Frederick Vervies 4, 5 and 6. Ted Bjork is just ahead of the winners of TCR South America, Bernardo Java and Pedro Cardozo. Rafael Reis rounding out that podium positions. In 11th and 4th in South America is Galid Osman from Esteban Gurrieri in 12th. 13th, Manuel Sepang from Juan Manuel Casella in 14th. Montenegro, having been down pit lane, crosses the line in 15th position. Adalberto Baptista 16th, and the winner, the TCR South America Trophy, Jan Elishay, classified in 17th after that contact. Juan Angel Rosso, another driver that would be the last of the retirees. Diego Nunes, Fabio Casagrande, Mikel Azcona, Mateus Mila, Enrique Maglione and Fabian Yanatuone don't make the checkered flag. But one man that did, one man that's loving life, it has to be said, is Nesta Girolamo. Big cheers, jump on the roof of the car, take the applause. There is Maggie from TCR South America, just making sure the drivers all go to the right place. But Bebu, he wants a hug and a kiss and a handshake and many particularly firm pats. That hurts your back, I've got to say, when that happens, but he won't care one bit, will Nesta Girolamo, because that is a race victory, the first of the season in the Kumho TCR World Tour, and for the brand new Honda Civic. And for good measure, it's in Argentina. It's at home, where it matters, in front of the home crowd. Bebu's been in high demand from fans, media and organisation alike this weekend, and he's rewarded every single one of them with a victory. The first of the year. Toyota Team Argentina as well take a race victory for there is that man that took the race victory. Great stuff for Bernardo Java, number 1. Yes, it is indeed. Well done, Sunshine. That was a very good performance indeed, and just like Nesta, takes the applause and the plaudits of his team members as well. Great result for Bernardo to take that race victory. Toyota Team Argentina, of course, develop and build the car themselves, the Toyota Corolla TCR. And I will say this now, I am no engineer nor expert, but having looked at that car very closely indeed, it is a well put together touring car indeed. Very impressive work. Still firmly in the development phases this season. It's realistic in the second year of its competition, so the teams are learning, developing, improving the car as they go along. But I think the likes of Bernardo Java, the likes of Pedrera, proving it's fast. So let's talk to our race winner, Bebu Girolami.
Bebu, I can imagine your happiness winning a race in your local country. Tell me what you feel.
Wow, incredible. This is more than what we expect. Before starting the weekend, we had so many problems on Saturday that I couldn't believe in my home race, dealing with many issues, but we put everything together for today and we did a fantastic job. I'm very grateful with all the team, Seba Martino, Shaz Motorsport, HRC, all the people that support us, because this victory is for them.
Felicitaciones por la victoria. No estuvo para nada fácil, me imagino, tuviste que pelear bastante.
No estaba fácil, la verdad que era muy luchada primero con Huff, después empezó a atacar Mac, que venía muy bien en los sectores lentos. Mi auto era muy bueno en recta, pero en curva estábamos penando bastante. Así que bueno, eso me permitía defenderme el sector 1, que es el lugar más crítico, digamos, pero la verdad que muy contento, feliz. Decía, ayer fue un día caótico, tuvimos muchos problemas, no reflejamos el real potencial del auto y hoy en carrera sabía que tenía una gran oportunidad y no la desperdiciamos. Desde la largada que me enfoqué muy bien para partir primero y bueno, tratar de mantener al resto atrás.
Gracias y felicitaciones, vaya a festejar.
Muchas gracias, saludos a todos, cariño a mi familia que me vino a ver, a todos los amigos y a todos los sponsors que siempre están detrás empujando el proyecto.
Excellent stuff there from Bebu Girolami as a race victor. Very, very pleased indeed, as he has every right to be. That was a masterful performance. At the front of the field for the Squadra Martino driver, never put a foot wrong under significant pressure. And let's talk to our TCR South America winner.
Bernie, se dio la victoria, al fin, llegó.
Por fin, la verdad que me costó mucho. En la primera carrera venía ganando y me chocó Berbich. Y bueno, pude llegar tercero. Y en esta una buena largada y después lo chocaron a Pedro Cardoso, que realmente creo que él se la merecía porque tenía el auto más rápido. Y de hecho sobre el final lo intentó. Y creo que un par de vueltas más y no lo podía aguantar. Así que muy agradecido a todo el TTA, el Toyota Argentina, a Darío Ramonda, a todo el ingeniero, Diego Bruna, Gustavo Henares, Rafa Croseri, Sancor Seguros, que nos está acompañando hace un par de carreras. Y bueno, esto es para todos ellos, mi familia obviamente, todos mis amigos que me vinieron a ver.
Gracias y felicitaciones.
Muchas gracias, saludos a todos.
Very happy with the win. First victory of the season. Thanks the sponsors, thanks the team, thanks his family at home as well. Got a good start, did a good race, he was saying yesterday, before an incident prevented that being turned into a result. But today, very much turned on the style and the performance to take his first victory of the season. A long time coming for Bernardo Java there, but he did it on the biggest stage possible with the Kumho TCR World Tour field alongside him. And a great performance for the Toyota Team Argentina driver there to take victory under significant pressure from Pedro Cardozo behind. Never cracked, never put a foot wrong. Finished in 8th position overall and a victor in the TCR South America Banco BRB Championship. So hopefully it'll be interesting to see his emotions after the race when I chat to him a little bit later on. But before we do that one, let's get this podium ceremony in together. And there is Rob Huff, to the applause of the crowd. 3rd position for the COMTU Racing driver, a 2nd and a 3rd. A strong results this weekend. Big points for Englishman Rob Huff. Marchinquois, another very, very strong race, another very strong entry into his time in TCR South American field. 2nd position to go alongside the victory in Uruguay. But the man of the moment, Néstor Girolami, to the cheers of the crowd below on home soil, takes that long-awaited race victory. That means the world to Bebu, and it's spectacular to see him winning here on home soil. The Squadra Martino team, of course, he used to race for ALM Motorsport in the European stages of this category, and now over at Squadra Martino, the crack Squadra Martino squad, very much the biggest squad over here, as we see the director of La Pedrera Park handing out the trophies to all of our drivers. Huff, Bar, Girolami, third, second, first positions respectively. Trophies aloft, thank you very much, says Nesta Girolami. It's been a great weekend, difficult as he said on Saturday for qualifying, difficult with the retirement. You could see the frustration from Bebu from the retirement yesterday in the opening race, but all that will very quickly, I am sure, be forgotten about, courtesy of this race win. And here is Chinese flag. There we go. Another, that's not the first time that's been waved over these last couple of weeks for Marching Inglai. Did as well for race victory in Uruguay. It's been a good weekend for Mar. And he's too slow. Get that champagne cracked out quick. There we go. A little bit of frustrated. He's going to be the only one with the ammunition though. When these two have messed about with each other, Marching Inglai is going to be the one that's got all of the fizz left. And our race winner takes the brunt of it, does Nesta Girolami. He's got in his eyes, and trust me, that hurts. But Girolami, he won't care one bit. Race victory, chink of the bottles, a much happier looking Rob Huff as well. Another good drive for the man from Cambridge at Kumho Racing Team Audi Sport, Rob Huff. 2 podiums from 2 races. Good points for the Kumho TCR World Tour. And now, the TCR South America Banco BRB Championship. We take our podium positions. Rafael Race, 3rd position, and a great performance did race so far this weekend, and in particular today. 3rd place from the back of the grid is a great performance. Pedro Cardozo started 2nd overall. Had ambitions of a lofty result and delivered very firmly indeed. 2nd place in South America, and there is the man, Bernardo Java. Very, very happy, thank you very much. Race victor, a hug for Toyota Team Argentina as well, for putting the car together and delivering that result. Great stuff for Bernardo Java there. Trophies are handed out by the Principal Deputy of Pedrera Park. Trophy aloft, that's a nice sign as well, look at that. There's some glint of sun on the trophy, which suggests it's a little bit warmer than it has been pretty much the entire time we've been here in South America, and that's a very happy man indeed. Top step of the podium, first win at TCR South America, and delivered in very fine style indeed. Cardozo's the first one to get the champagne spray in though. It's Bernardo a little bit slower than he needed to be, but he's got it going there eventually. And the celebrations from all 3 drivers, very hard fought race, very strong performance, and again representing the TCR South America field to a global audience very nicely indeed. And it's probably a good opportunity to mention this one. If you're watching the Kumho TCR World Tour and this is your first exposure to TCR South America, I would strongly recommend you follow this championship on the TCR TV app. Some great racing, great tracks, drivers and teams, so it's highly worth your time to follow the series and see how it unfolds. We've got some big stories still to tell in TCR South America. Alberto Baptista, the only finisher in the TCR South America trophy, takes the champagne and the trophy with it for another very strong race day performance. So there we go, let's have a look at some highlights then from this final race of the weekend, the final race for the Kumho TCR World Tour in South America. We got off in a very aggressive start at the front of the field. Frederick Vervies to the inside line, tries to take advantage of the mayhem ahead, but comes together with Ted Bjork, both drivers missing out and losing several positions through these opening corners. But down at the chicane is where all the drama unfolded. Mikel Azcona, already contact with the wall, put pay to his race nice and early for the Spanish driver, and then we headed down into the chicane, everybody fighting for position. Azcona still on the defensive, contact between Frederick Vervies, but the real drama of the race was this one. Jan Elishay contact with the tyres. Yana Tuoni, an innocent bystander, as well as Ted Bjork, makes contact with the back of the Toyota Corolla. That would be the end for Yana Tuoni. Jan Elishay's story though still had plenty of stages left to talk about. Rob Huff going for the overtake here on Pedro Cardozo. A good defensive drive at the start of the race for Cardozo, but the inevitable onslaught of the World Tour field would prove too much in the opening stages of the race. Casagrande that we see into some mechanical failure in the TCR South America trophy, that put him into retirement alongside this man Mikel Azcona. The damage from the contact with the wall, too much for the BRC Hyundai to continue. further down the field, Frederick Vervisch and Pedro Cardozo would come together. Cardozo would be the man that loses out the most from that incident but still recovers to second in the TCR South America field. Rafael Reyes was in the heart of pretty much every battle on the racetrack. There is going side by side with Esteban Gurrieri. Rafael Reyes from the back of the field makes it to the bottom step of the podium in TCR South America. Good driving from Rafael Reyes once again, delivering the performance he needs for himself and his team after what's been a difficult weekend, it is fair to say. Fighting all the way through the field, once again running down into T1. We see plenty of drama. Galid Osman very, very late on the brakes. Juan Angel Rosso has to take evasive action to avoid big contact between those two drivers. Keeps the Palladini Toyota clean for now. Ignacio Montenegro having issues of his own in the Honda, a pit stop and a low position, and this is the move for second place from Marcin Qua. A little bit more aggressive than Rob Huff would have liked, but he got the deal done. Mar finishing in second place, and the big drama, Jan Elishay started and ended with a race contact. So there we go, TCR South America, Kumho TCR World Tour over and done for now. We're back at Sydney Motorsport Park on the 3rd to the 5th of November. From everybody here, from Kumho TCR World Tour to our South American colleagues, thank you for having us, enjoy and goodbye.